Good morning, everyone. Come on in.
Smaller
We'll
of the
get
group,
started.
but maybe we'll have many more people trickle in.
Awesome.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Just making sure Robin is ready to go, and we'll get started with today's event, number 226, with Arshia Bhatti, talking to us today about power, presence, and potential in the intelligent age. So, Robin, just give me a thumbs up or hearts, or go ahead. We're ready to go. Just making sure she's all set up. And I think she is, and Christine's all ready, and she's all set too. So good morning, everybody. My name is Julie Smithson, and welcome to XR Women. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, and today is our 226th event, again with Arshia Bhatti. So welcome to XR Women Wednesdays. We're excited to have everybody here. We've got almost 20 people, but as we know, over the next couple of minutes, a lot of people will be trickling in. We do have, before we get started, we are recording both 2D and 3D. So your avatar voice and text messages, or any messages or any questions that you have, will be recorded here. We understand that sometimes your avatar does make some strange moves, but if you can please respect the presenter and the audience by controlling your presence here, that would be great. Please also mute if you're not speaking, just to make sure that we're all respecting each other and we don't need any background noise while the presentation's going on. And respect our speakers' opinions, which do not necessarily reflect those of XR Women in our leadership. So please also use your raise hand on your controller. It is the number 2 button if you're on desktop, and if you're in VR, you're going to look at your left hand wrist, go to the little hand wave, and within that menu, there is a hands up controller button there. So when the presentation is going on today, please use that method for asking your questions. And then you can unmute and speak freely. And do the most important thing, why we bring everybody together here is to connect with others and collaborate to help make the future better for everyone. So please make sure you do that as you go through today's presentation and spend time with us. And our time here would not be possible without our community partners, our platform partners, and our award sponsors, as well as the student chapters. We're excited that we do have 3 student chapters: Ringling College of Art and Design, and SCAD, Savannah University Academy, and we have the XR Girls Africa group just out of Kenya. If you know of an institution that would like to become part of our community so we can support the next generation, please reach out to us. If you know anybody, or if you're connected with any companies or brands that are looking to sponsor us, we have some exciting programming coming up that we're working on to involve brands more in our weekly events, and what we're working towards to educate and inspire everybody about immersive technology. So next, we'd like to welcome our new XR Women members. We have a few people here that have registered from the US and the UK, but I believe we have at least 2 new people here in the audience. Sonia, I think, is one, and Karen is the other. Sonia, do you want to unmute yourself and do a quick introduction?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Sonia. Very nice to meet you. I have been aware of XR Women for a while now, and I've met some of their member, I think, in AWE. This week I found out about the event, the community from Lisa, the CEO of Arrival Space. On day-to-day basis, I'm an XR designer. I work with a lot of projects in cultures, in wellness, in sports, and so say hello and let's connect in LinkedIn. I would love to hear what you guys are doing here.
Thanks, Sonia. And where are you here from?
I'm in Barcelona.
In the world are you from?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Great. Welcome. Thank you. Sorry, I heard another voice there. I don't know if that was somebody else. No, okay. Karen, I think there's a new person here by the name of Karen. If you'd like to unmute and introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name is Karen Park, and I came here as Nora introduced External Woman. So I came here in second time here, and I'm also a pixel artist, and in the same time I make VR spaces with a little bit of modeling and designing stuff. So yeah, I'm so glad to see you all, and I'm also from Korea, and of course it's South Korea in Seoul, and yeah, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for joining us, and that makes several different countries. I'm here from Toronto, Canada, and I know a lot here from the U.S. So we've got Korea, U.S., Barcelona, Canada. Any other countries present currently right now that I haven't? That you may have been here before, but is there any other countries? We always try and see and evaluate at the end of our sessions, where the collective of our XR women community is coming from, and it's nice to have the diversity and the different cultures in this space. So thank you all, and welcome to XR Women. Please make sure you join our XR Women Slack channel, and if you need to reach out to us, through our email, or send a message through Engage to our team, and we'll make sure that you get the invite. So coming up, let's keep going here. The XR Women Museum and Gallery currently has our immersive artist, Juliana Lowe, there. And I spent actually a little bit of time there today, just because I realized sometimes I walk through on one wall, but I didn't walk through on the other one. So it was really cool to kind of spend some time in there with Juliana's work. It is in our Frame Museum and Gallery, and it's a web-based platform, and you can take a look through some of her work and arts and designs, some of the pieces that she's worked on, and some of the messaging about designing in a collaborative space. And I bring that to my motivation of the week that I've been trying to stay steady on. And the motivation of the week actually comes from a few different conversations that I've had, just about how generations are coming together. And last week my word was ignite. And so this week I'm going to tie that in, because when generations unite, innovation ignites. And we really need to open up to having more conversations and collaborations with the different generations. We're looking at a time where education and the conversation around the role of a teacher versus AI, and that previous role of teacher being that dominant and person in a classroom who guides the student through their education journey is changing. And we need to build that mentorship and teacher dialogue between students and this next generation to open up more conversation. So, really co-designing with generations and opening up to those communications will really empower innovation. So, let's co-design our future by mentoring across ages, owning our contributions, and building bridges that turn diverse perspectives into shared breakthroughs. So I hope that inspires all of you. I saw some of that messaging in Juliana's work, and I think just continuing those thoughts of how we bring more people together from different perspectives to help elevate all of our thinking into this higher learning process that we're going through. So anyways, that's the motivation of the week. I hope you all take that with you. And I always, I didn't have a chance to today, before I go into this slide, but I've been learning a lot and sticking to learning about AI and education on the daily with podcasts. And there's one I follow called AI and Education. And they're going through this whole series of how the student's journey of AI and using it in education is going, and there's all these interviews. So I'm seeing a lot of perspectives from students and how they're now learning with their educators who are turning into mentors, and it's really interesting. I'll drop it into the Slack channel, into the main chatter channel, and if anybody wants to join in and have a listen, it's really, really good learning. So the learning continues, and not only do we have our YouTube channel with all of these events, and we're recording today both spatially and 2D. We've got some upcoming lessons and more events for you. So next week, July 30th, our last event of July, we're going to hear from LM8 Designs, LM Designs 8, Building XR Experience for Wellness. And we're going to be back here and engaged. So please make sure you register attending the event, just so that you get the notification and we have an idea that you're going to be joining us. So I'd like to move on to today's presentation, and I believe Paige is going to be doing the introduction for Arshia today. So Paige and Arshia, if you'd like to join us on stage. Thanks very much for joining us today and sharing your knowledge with the XR Women community.
Thank you so much, Julie. I always appreciate these introduction times, and especially that motivation of the week. It carries with me throughout the week and influences each sort of decision or discussion that I carry forward. Members, please join me in welcoming a dynamic leader at the forefront of transformation, innovation, and empowerment, Arshia Bhatti. Arshia is a strategic leader at PwC UK, where she works with global clients across industries to tackle today's most urgent challenges, from climate action to business reinvention, through human-led, tech-powered solutions. She is also a UN Women UK delegate, a female founder bridging IRL and virtual worlds, a creator in the Meta Horizon Creator Program, and a business and life coach, deeply committed to empowering women to lead with purpose, confidence, and pie. You'll learn more about that if you get to know her also as Viva Coach. In today's talk, Power, Presence, and Potential in the Intelligent Age, Arshia will explore how we, especially as women in tech and innovation, can redefine leadership in an era shaped by both human and artificial intelligence. She invites us to reimagine what it means to lead with clarity, confidence, and meaningful presence in this rapidly evolving landscape. Please give your full attention and a warm welcome to Arshia Bhatti.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. Look, I've known Paige for a very long time, and I've got a huge amount of respect for Paige for everything that she does. And if I was doing her intros, we'll still be here, and I'll still be going through pages and pages of it, because Paige has just been such an inspiration to so many out there. And I see her working so hard on that day in, day out. Thank you so much, Paige.
Thank you.
Right. So look, 226 consecutive events. I mean, that is impressive. Well done, XR Women. I mean, that is awesome. And everyone that I've spoken to already in the room here today, and everyone that Paige tells me about who's part of XR Women, it's such a diverse group. You come from so many different backgrounds, doing different things at work, in your personal lives. And that is what's so beautiful about it. Yet there's such a common thread that's connecting us all together, which is all about emerging technology, XR, AI, and everything else that is within that ecosystem. And I really do love that. And that is what really excited me to come here and talk to you all today about the topic of power, presence, and potential in the tech and AI world, which I think is all about intelligent age rather than digital age now. Julie said something really amazing about motivational quote this week, and she said, when generations unite, innovation ignite. And as soon as you said that, Julie, something came to my mind when I was speaking to one of our clients in Japan. And one of the questions was, why does it always feel like Japan is so ahead of time when it comes to tech? And the reason that they said was because of their aging population. They had to come together and drive innovation to ensure that there was sustainable living. And that's kind of, reminding me of that event as Julie was sharing this thought with us today. And look at Japan today. Everyone who may have visited Japan, may be thinking of going and doing some research or has any connections to Japan, you would know that it's actually when you go to Japan or when you interact with Japan, technology speaks volumes. And they've been doing a lot of things very differently to the rest of the world for a very, very long time. So just thought I'll share that experience of mine with you all on that motivational quote, which I found really inspirational. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that. Right. So let me take you to something you've probably seen, maybe in a reel or even in a classroom. A spider or an ant is placed on a surface. Someone draws a circle around it with a pen. No cage, no walls, just literally ink. And what happens? Yet the insect won't cross it. It believes the circle is real. It sees the boundary where there is literally none. Can I just get a show of hands if you have seen that reel or you've heard of that concept, or may have seen, done the experiment yourself? If you have, you would have noticed that that insect does not move out of that circle. But when the circles are drawn closer and closer, something changes. The insect reaches the edge and crosses over. And once it does that, it never stops again. You can take that same insect, draw as big a circle as you want, it will still cross it. The line no longer holds meanings. So here's a little bit of an insight in that. Sometimes the only thing that separates action from expansion is perception. Once that perception is broken, we don't return to old limitations. And that's an extremely important thought to hold, because that illusion of being boxed in or staying small is the exact thing we are breaking out of in this era. The boundaries drawn around women in technology, in leadership and innovation, they're not permanent, they're not existing, and they're just being redrawn by us. When we say redrawn, there are no boundaries. In fact, I would challenge to say, don't even redraw them and say, I'm expanding myself. Actually, think of it as not being there. My name is Arshia Bhatti. I'm a Big Four professional partnering with our clients through my teams to ultimately help my global clients to solve some of their most complex business and technology challenges. And I've seen the shift. I've seen businesses go from traditional systems to intelligent ones. I've seen them go from process-driven organizations to AI-enhanced ecosystems. But I'm not only an advisor in boardrooms, as Paige was sharing with you, I'm also a female founder myself. I've built a business inside the metaverse, coaching women to lead, launch, and innovate in emerging tech spaces like XR. But outside of XR, I'm also a female founder in IRL, and I have firsthand seen all the challenges that you see as an entrepreneur, but also as a female founder, which itself multiplies so many folds as being a female myself. And beyond that, I advocate for gender equality on a global scale. So for example, again, Paige mentioned this, being a UK delegate to the UN's Commission on the Status of Women for the last couple of years at CSW 68 and CSW 69. And this year, I actually had a privilege to go and speak at the closing event, talking to them about digital age. And being a female and a woman and what that means. But actually, since then, I've been reflecting real hard. I don't think it's about digital age anymore. I think it's actually about intelligent age. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So the intelligent age is more than just a buzzword. We hear buzzwords, they come in, they go out. But it's a shift in how we think, how we decide, how we build and lead. We've moved past that digital age that I was referring to earlier, where the goal was literally connectivity. Now we're in the era of cognitive technology, AI, machine learning, extended reality, spatial computing, and human machine collaboration. And that excites me so much more. We know that Ginny Romanzi, former CEO of IBM, said the future is not artificial intelligence, it's actually augmented intelligence. AI doesn't remove human, it elevates the human in us. XR doesn't replace reality, it expands reality. And when women bring their full potential through power, presence, and that potential to the space, we don't just use technology, we shape the future with it. And that's what I want to focus on today through the power piece, the potential, the presence piece, and the potential piece. So bear with me as I go through that. But of course, if you have questions, please do raise hands. I'm very much happy for you to make this into a conversation while I share my thoughts. I've kind of been in a bit of a reflective mode. I've been part of tech for such a long time. I've seen it evolve, but never at the scale or the pace that I'm seeing it now. So redefining the digital age into intelligent age actually makes good sense. But we as women do not want to fall back into what the gaps were with digital age. We talked about digital gap for such a long time. And I don't want to talk about intelligent gap. I want to be part of designing that from get-go. So power in the intelligent age, it goes from passive access to active agency. And that's where my focus is. So let me take you into a moment. In my consulting days with my clients, when I'm working directly with my clients, I'd often find myself seated at long glass-topped tables, the kind where decisions about billions of dollars, enterprise transformations, and AI implementations are all being made. Now, terms like machine learning, optimization, predictive modeling, automation at scale, etc., was often mentioned. But something else was flying under the radar too, the fact that women were rarely in these rooms. That stays the fact today. It doesn't matter how long I've been in consulting. It doesn't matter how many clients I have worked with. It doesn't matter which territories I'm traveling to. It stays the case. And if they were often managing risk, not driving innovation. Now, there's a shift. That's why I say if they were. But that's still massively the case. So I realized something vital. Power in the intelligent age is no longer about hierarchy. That's the first circle we're drawing around ourselves that we need to absolutely get rid of. Delete it, rub it off. However you do it, do that. Because it's about fluency. Power redefined, fluency over titles is what we need to focus on. So forget the organizational chart. The real currency is fluency in 3 key domains. So fluency with intelligent tools. Are you prompting AI or being prompted by it? Fluency in how data drives decisions. So can you interpret the dashboard shaping your business or your life, whether that is through hyperscalers or your day-to-day interaction with your local bank or your local supermarket, your hairdressers, your health professionals? And thirdly, fluency in how technology scales your ideas. Can your presence be felt through code, content, and immersive experiences? So as Kathy Hackle, tech futurist, says, with AI and XR, the key question is, are we creating with it or are we being created by it? That question changed how I saw everything. Power is now personalized. So Matt Wood, PwC's Global Commercial Technology and Innovation Officer, puts it plainly. The organizations that win in the age of intelligent tech are those who put trust and people right at the center of it. And that includes all of you. Because in this new era, power isn't something you climb towards, it's something you design with. And that's what I want. I want all of us to change our focus on how and what we think of power and redefine it. So because of this new era, we need to start thinking about designing with power. So as a founder, use AI to shape your go-to-market strategies in days, not months, right? As a coach, I'm building XR-enabled group transformation spaces, and that makes such a huge difference in how I reach out to my clients. As a policy advocate, I've taken those insights to global stages. Working with you is an example of that. This is what power looks like now. It's fluid, it's scalable, it's inclusive if we make it so. Now, the feminization of power. Traditionally, power meant dominance, gatekeeping, control. But in the intelligent age, that's not what power is. Power is distributed, power is decentralized, and power is designable. It allows for collaboration, creativity, and care to become part of strategic advantage. Now, I see so many of you in the room. I've spoke to so many of you, and everything that you tell me, share with me in terms of what you're doing, it's actually all those things. But it's a mindset shift. You may be doing it, but actually, are you consciously thinking that is why I'm doing this, and that's my new power? This is good news for women, because for our instincts to connect, to elevate, to co-create aren't weaknesses like we were told before. They are now competitive strengths. We have to see ourselves as the biggest competitors out there right now. So ask yourself, what intelligent tools are within your reach right now? And more importantly, actually, are you waiting for permission to use them, or are you already experimenting? Because here's the truth. Power is no longer reserved for those who build the systems. It now belongs to those who understand them deeply enough to shape outcomes. The age of intelligence doesn't hand out power, it asks us to step into it. And that's the difference. Don't wait for an invite. You should reach out and create with it. And if we don't, someone else will define it for us. Like I said, we had a digital gap in a digital age. We do not want an intelligent gap in an intelligent age. So we have to move with it. I'm going to pause here on power. Any questions, any thoughts from the audience? What's going through your mind as I say what I've said so far before I move on to presence? I must have drove you all into deep thought around this, and that is also a good thing. That is also a good thing.
Yes, I think this is Karen speaking, and
Hey,
I'm
Karen.
finding your words incredibly inspiring. So I would just like to thank you at this moment. But I believe
thanks so much.
Sarah B just raised her hand.
Go for it. Go for it.
Hi, thank you so much. This has just been fantastic, and I just wanted to comment that I am working on research using a couple of AI platforms, one called SciSpace, the other one called Rayon. And it's transforming. It's taking what would have been maybe a year it's taking me months. So leaning in. I appreciate the idea of leaning in. Thank you so much. It's a great message.
Absolutely. Step in. You do not have to claim power anymore. You are the power. You are yourself the power. And I think, like Sarah, you've just said, just step into it and claim it totally. Right. So let's move on to presence. So that is what I meant sort of, in terms of power. Presence in the intelligent age. It's all about visibility, influence, and trust in a smart world. So in the intelligent age, presence is no longer just about being in the room. I previously mentioned being in the boardroom, seeing what I was seeing, right? That is presence in a very different way. Today, it's about how you are perceived, felt, remembered across platforms, across time zones and realities, physical, digital, immersive. And this event right now is such a good example of exact that. You're presenting yourself in a very different form to you would in the real world. But in doing so, you are reaching out into time zones, into territories, into people, into experiences, into capabilities that perhaps you wouldn't be able to otherwise, right? So presence is very different right now. And today's business, in terms of using presence as a strategic visibility, our today's business landscape, how you show up often determines what opportunities you access. From a leadership and a business standpoint, presence is your LinkedIn footprint enhanced by AI content scheduling, right? That's important. You're busy, you need to have the right presence, but you should be conscious about it. I think leading in terms of your presence on these platforms is extremely important part of it. I've seen people using the tech in the way they use. It's not always productive, but those who are doing it right, follow them and learn with them and exchange ideas and create your own presence that's really strong. Your digital twin and XR enabled virtual worlds right now. So all your these digital twins that you're creating in here are extremely important as well. There's real business being done in these spaces, and your presence and how you show up is extremely important. The way your brand speaks, even when you are not in the room, via automation, design, and storytelling, is extremely important. If I'm not here, what's being said about me is extremely important. That is a still presence. People often think of presence in a very physical form. Actually, presence in the intelligent age looks very different. It feels very different. Virtual is right at the center of it all, and we need to be very mindful and conscious of that. So presence is more than just showing up, it's being strategically seen in the right spaces by the right people, powered by smart systems. And that is an extremely, extremely important part of this whole process. So in my work with clients, especially women founders and executives, I am seeing a shift. Those who embrace intelligent platforms gain an exponential edge in trust, recall, and influence. And that's what we need to grab to. And presence as digital trust in business. So there's presence of yourself, but actually in the age of synthetic content, deep fakes, AI generated influence, trust is the new currency. And we are talking about this with our clients at all times. Our clients are building trust in a new way, in a new form. If you're working for an employer, you will know the value of trust and resetting what that actually means for business in the next 10 years. If you're self-employed, you will also know the value of that. But actually consciously think of trust as an asset, as a currency is extremely important part. And often we see that as a byproduct of something that we sort of do through our work. Absolutely not. You need to start with trust and not hope that whatever you're doing will create trust. PwC's Global Trust Survey in 2023 found that 64% of CEOs say lack of trust in digital channels directly affect their business performance. And when we are looking at presence in different forms and ways, that trust piece becomes even more important. This means your business presence must be intentional, ethical, and intelligent. And here's that word again. As a female founder and a coach, my clients now ask, how do I use AI to sound like me, not a bot? How can my client experience my brand in immersive ways before they ever book a session? These are real conversations. These are real challenges that are all around these new spaces. These are presence questions and not just marketing ones. We need to move beyond the world of presence in the way that we are all used to of. We have started showing up differently in these spaces, but are we actually genuinely, actively, consciously thinking what that actually means? And presence as leadership interface is extremely important presence to think about as well. So just like UX is how user experiences a product, leadership presence is how teams and clients experiences you. And that's really important. So in the intelligent age, then, this includes AI curated emails that still feel human, XR boardrooms where your avatar still carries your values, digital-first business cultures where presence is 24/7, even when you are offline. And executive presence used to be about body language and attire. Now it's about tone, clarity, accessibility, and how you scale connection through tech. That is something that Sylvia Ann Hollett, executive presence expert, has said. So take that away and build on it. Presence becomes your interface. It's how your intelligence, empathy, and leadership gets transmitted across space and systems. And that's what I've been reflecting on a lot more when it comes to presence. So from passive to programmable presence, here's the shift. Digital age, presence equals participation. Intelligent age, presence equals programmable influence. They're two very different things. So you get to curate how your voice, values, and vision moves through AI models, XR platforms, and digital ecosystems, but at scale. And for women, that means reclaiming how we are seen, not just showing up. It means designing presence that feels authentic, embodied, and expansive in every single dimension. And that's the idea around presence. Again, I'm going to take a pause. Happy to take any thoughts, your personal experiences with presence, how you may be shifting your own personal presence in spaces that you are now accessing and delivering your services through. I'm going to pause, and it's your opportunity to share your thoughts with the rest of the room. I might put someone at on point here. Paige, I'm going to come to you.
Sure.
Paige is someone who's actually, when you think about presence from IRL to XR, very, very active. So, Paige, with everything that I've said, are you actively thinking about presence in intelligent age differently to the way you may have operated in past, or some of the learnings you may have seen, some of the things that you perhaps changing yourself? Share your thoughts with the room.
Thank you so much. I am really deeply contemplating how I show up and the assistance that AI is able to help me actually show up better and more authentic. I've been, for professional and personal relationships, really leaning into the trust I'm building with the technology to bring some of my most challenging facets towards not needing to resolve on my own, but with better opportunities, more clarity, and a more nuanced perspective because of the assistance of intelligence. I don't know everything, and I think that I might direct a project or communicate it in the best way. But with the assistance of AI, I'm able to be more present, give more to more people and myself.
That's great. Thank you so much, Paige.
Thank you. Thank you.
And look, we have to be honest in these conversations, right? Because I mean, those comments from Paige, that response was super, super honest. We do have a lot to change here. That's the reality of it. I don't think we can say what I did before worked and I can carry on doing it. That's not the new presence in the intelligent age. Challenge yourself when you are presenting yourself, when you are in a room, in a different format, in a different way, engaged, being somewhere else, whether that is sort of being at work physically. you need to connect the dots in your presence and not create altogether different individual identities. And that is where the trust is going to start to seed from. And that's really important part of this whole puzzle. Right. So finally, let's talk about potential, because I know this room is absolutely beaming with it. Sorry, we have a question, a hands up. Sorry, I can't read the name.
It's Julie. Hi, it's Julie.
Oh, hey, Julie.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to talk a little bit more just about that presence piece and tying that back to purpose and, really honing in. I can honestly say that I've really honed in on my purpose, which leads to the work I'm doing in my company, Unlimited Awesome. But, my purpose is to inspire and educate. And I've used AI to start to bring my thoughts more to LinkedIn. For example, I'm starting to write more and I'm able to bring these thoughts clearer by using the tools that I have in hand that's accelerating my own profile behind my purpose, behind my presence, why I'm doing what I'm doing and creating that louder voice, which takes a little bit of confidence to do, right? And it ties back to, I was going to comment before about permissions and power, and that we don't need permissions. And you touched on that, right? But we as women sometimes seek a permission to jump deeper into something we want to be a part of. And I think we need to break down those permissions, that we don't have to ask somebody else. We just need to tie it to our purpose in our presence to allow that power to come out. And then I'll stop there because I know you want to continue with potential, and that's where the potential comes in, right? With your purpose and your mission and really zoning in on that. So anyways, back to you. Thank you for all you've brought up today.
Thank you. I mean, Julie, thank you so much for sharing that experience. That's exactly what it is. I think so. Imposter syndrome is so real. We often challenge ourselves for no need of challenge. Essentially, think back to that circle. We draw those circles around us, and then we're sort of not stepping out of them. And we need to know that they don't exist. And that's really, really important. And they're self-drawn. More than often, they're self-drawn. They may come from our past experiences where others perhaps have drawn them for us. But actually, in terms of the continuation of them, we continue to self-draw them. And we need to break that cycle. Like you say, Julie, really great reminder. We do not have to ask for permission. We should go ahead. And like I say, power is in design rather than in claiming it now and asking for that permission. You're absolutely right as well, Julie. Thank you so much for handing over at that point, because potential is where it all converges. Absolutely. That's exactly where it all converges. But let's be clear, this isn't just about what's possible. Sorry, Paige, you were going to say something.
I do. I want to circle in reflection of the presence and not asking permission. The truth is, as I augment and assist my intelligence, I'm finding higher value in myself as well. So not only am I more present for people and assisting, especially purpose-driven, but my own value is stronger. That part about showing up for yourself and being more visible, I think, is also enhanced, whether it's through great, strong LinkedIn posts or seeing that now AI does not have to be like an affirmative feedback loop. That's not what I look for at all. But I find that I'm able, within that presence, I am more valuable because I'm assisted with AI. I'm more of my greatest self.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, that is true. I think it is about unlocking rather than finding that potential. You have the potential. It's not about what is possible in that sense, actually, because right now, everything is possible with tech, data, and AI, the power fueling through all of that. Actually, there's very little that we can say we can't do or can't achieve. Look at this. I mean, I am in the UK, you're in US. We've got someone from Barcelona, we've got people from New York, we've got people coming from all different places. So possibility is not a question anymore. It's actually about what gets unlocked when we combine human brilliance with intelligent tools. And that's exactly what Paige was just talking about there. And it's got to be deliberate, it's got to be courteous, and it's got to be unapologetic. And that's really important. So the intelligent age is an amplifier of you, which is exactly where I was going, Paige. Thank you so much for setting that scene. Because in this new era, I don't think it's just about we don't just automate, we actually amplify. We amplify our ideas, our creativity, our impact, and most importantly, who we are becoming. Before, that's a huge part of that too. So from my work with women founders, corporate leaders, and global policy influencers, one thing is crystal clear. The future doesn't just belong to those with potential, it belongs to those who knows how to activate it. And they're two different things. And intelligent tools, AI, XR, machine learning are keys to that. But here's the truth, many still resist. AI isn't here to take your seat, it's here to extend your reach if you're bold enough to use it. And from what I'm hearing in the room today, I think we've got some really brave and bold individuals who are actually really using that as an extension of themselves to ensure that they are unlocking. And we've heard this phrase many times, right? AI won't replace you, but someone using AI will. So it's a decision point for you all to make today. The fact that you're here all in this room in XR space tells me you've already made that decision and you're actually part of this community. But those around you, challenge them too. And those women around you and young females growing around you, challenge them too. I mean, they are actually born into intelligent age. Sometimes I would even say vice versa, challenge seek challenge from those younger females around us who are being part of born into intelligent age. I actually find this a defaulted position. So this isn't a warning, it's actually an invitation. Now, I want to touch on technology as a mirror of possibility and potential. Because actually, when Paige was saying what Paige said, I was thinking, it is actually the mirroring. It's not about getting information. It's not getting, looking for that almost acceptance from AI as such. As a female founder, I don't view AI as something cold or clinical or something that I perhaps need to go and get some confirmations from. I view it more as a mirror. It reflects back what I believe is possible. And it pushes me to ask, if I had no limits, what could I build? What could I solve, lead, or shift? And that's the potential you need to start thinking about. As the commission of being part of that commission on the status of women CSW, I've served as a UK delegate for 2 years now, and we're working to ensure equitable access to this kind of technology, particularly for women in global South, right? Because the moment a woman gains access to intelligent tools, her potential becomes exponential. And that is something that I've seen firsthand, gosh, so many times. Here's what potential in motion looks like. So I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about what's already transforming businesses, education, and leadership today. And Julie's talked about her passion about education. I'm sure she'll be across a lot of this. Generative AI used to craft bespoke coaching reflections, right? XR-based learning environments that make leadership development immersive, accessible, and global. I was talking to Chris earlier, and Chris was sharing some of the work that he's doing with apps on and around that. AI-powered diagnostics that help businesses make precision decisions fast. So these are tools, and more than that, they are equalizers, actually. If we think about it, as female founders, as being a woman myself, as a collective group of women, We've often asked for equality, for equity. These tools can help us do that, but we need to be there from the design stage. We can't allow the applications, the AI systems, the machine learning to be designed and delivered without women being part of that. But they do allow women with vision to leapfrog traditional systems, build wealth and networks from anywhere, lead change at scale, not someday, but right now. So intelligent age is not something to come. That transition from digital age to intelligent age has been so seamless, so quick, at such a scale that if we miss it, we are missing a boat that's really, really important. So claiming your intelligent potential is an extremely important part of that. But here's the key. Potential isn't passive. It doesn't activate just because it exists. It gets unlocked when we put intelligence, both human and artificial, into motion. And that's what I mean when I say potential and motion. It's not enough to be visionary. The intelligent age demands that we also be technically curious, strategically agile, and unapologetically ambitious. And I know so many of you in the room who are exactly that. So I will ask you this. What technology could you master, not just to save time, but to create legacy? Where are you where are you and why are you waiting for permission to be powerful? And how will you ensure that your presence in this new age isn't just noticed, but felt through that experience? Final thought, the intelligent age is not coming, it's here. And your potential is not theoretical, it's technological, emotional, and exponential. If you dare to activate it, that's the key word. You're not here to play catch up, you are here to lead the leap forward. We need to be part of this future, and it'll only come with the bravery in each and every one of us. So let me just bring it all together for you. Power, presence, potential. If you use the power of tech fluency and confidence, your presence is going to be embodied and intentional. And your potential will be scaled through impact, through AI and XR. If your power through strategic use of intelligent tools comes through, your presence is designing immersive experiences, and your potential is in human transformation at scale. And if your power is through that influence in digital leadership, then your presence becomes visible beyond the screen, and your potential is global reach and depth of services. So let's revisit that circle. What's your version of it? Is it the belief that you are not technical enough, that you are too late to catch up, that someone else will lead in this space? Now ask yourself, what would you gain if you stepped over that circle? Write it down, one move, one mindset, one message, because that line is not real anymore. And in terms of the future is female, intelligent, and it's right here. I'm so excited. Here's what I want you to remember. You're not just a consumer of innovation, you are a creator of it. The intelligent age is no longer about access, it's about intention. Women don't need to wait for permission. We are the ones redrawing the map. The era of intelligence systems needs empathy, vision, and value-driven leaders. And that means it needs you, because that's exactly what we stand for as women, and that's exactly what we deliver to as women. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Amazing.
I want to say
you.
thank you so much, Arshia, for that powerful and inspiring talk. Your message on power, presence, and potential in the intelligent age really spoke to the heart of what we're all navigating now, especially as women in tech and innovation. We're so grateful for the clarity, confidence, and purpose you bring into the space today and going forward. Thank you for being with us today and for empowering us all to step forward with greater intention. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you,
Thank
Team
you,
XR Women.
thank you.
It's been my pleasure to be here
Thank you
today.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
What a wonderful session. It's great.
Very nice.
Thank you, thank you. And that page, if you will.